Hey everyone, it's Nakul from Wicky. Welcome to episode 3 of the Dribblers pod. My tone is very slow, very depressed. Meshy and Onks, you guys want to talk about why that might be?
Um, I think we were all there last night, stayed up till what was it, 3:30 in the morning, 4 a.m.,
Mm.
hoping and praying that our country would get us that win.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, 1.3 billion people have gotten let down.
Yeah.
Last night.
Yeah, man, it was pretty crook. I think, look, we will most likely be off. We're pretty much going to skip to a lot of basketball chat. Not much soccer going on this week, according to Onks. So most of the pod will be basketball, but a couple of minutes on cricket. Onks, you were telling us a cool little story about you only really got into cricket in the last few years, more so, right? You want to give us your 2 cents, Onks, on how the last couple of months have been for you?
Yeah, you're right. It's been a bit of a roller coaster. I guess the last time we won was 2011. I was still 19. I did some quick math yesterday night to figure that out. Still just a baby. So I think back then I didn't really follow it too much, to be honest with you. But ever since we started following India around on tour, when they come and we have the large group of boys that goes to pretty much as many live matches as possible, right? When India comes to Australia, like even if it's Melbourne, we'll still make the effort, or I know you've made the effort to go down to the Adelaide day-night test and stuff like that. So I guess since that's happened, this is the first World Cup that I've actually followed, like pretty much on a game-by-game basis. Like the India games, of course, watch as much as you can live. The timings haven't been the greatest if you want to still be productive and get to work the next day. But and all the other games I've tried to at least watch the minis on KO or just keep up with it. So and then the way that we went about the tournament, the squad depth, the quality that we showed, it. I got the jersey on today in solidarity, but I still don't have any words. But kudos to Australia, man. Clutch genes. They won when it counted, and by no means was it like a scrappy victory or anything. It was pretty dominant victory. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents on that before I start crying, I guess.
Uns, what about you?
I think for me, yeah, the way we lost, the way they dominated, it's kind of like I think I probably would have been more upset if it was a close game, knowing how good we had been in the tournament. But just getting smashed, it's like, when Travis Head was on like 50, 60, Marnus was in, it was looking quite dire. Kettleborough stitched us up with one from Bumrah going down, thinking he was going down leg side, and then after that, I mean, the momentum was with the Aussies all the way through their batting innings, and to be honest, even their fielding innings, like Pat Cummins put on a masterclass of captaincy. We know all about that, captaining HBCC a couple of games, a few dominant victories, but yeah, I think he was outstanding, and then Australia are always big tournament players, so. Yeah, they know how to do it. They know how to win it, and they've won 6 now. So
I think you make a good point. Yeah, you make a good point also about how the game wasn't that close, and it's like it still hurts, it still sucks, but like you kind of knew what was coming for a while. And I think my point would be around the cricket. Like, look, a lot of people listening to this, a lot of people nowadays in Australia, like cricket is not probably as popular as it used to be a few years ago. But I reckon like. With cricket, it's like it goes on for so long. Like, if you're playing cricket, most of the time you're talking shit. You're not actually batting or bowling.
Yeah.
Even if you're going to like watch a game, it goes on for like fucking 8 hours, right? So you're never going to be like watching every ball 100% focused. So, and I've actually got good stories with both of you guys. Like, Onks, you come into Melbourne for in 2018. Like, you coming across, I think that was your first trip with the boys watching cricket and stuff. And on the first day, you're a little bit quiet and stuff. I think you're rowdy as all of us by the end of it, which is and it's been 5 years since then. So we've had a bunch of fun. And the best one would be Meshy in Adelaide. So I think we went out to that Adelaide test. Yeah. Me, Meshy, and one of our mates, Raj, got blind drunk twice in a day, which was absolutely epic. And we were at the casino and we were up a few $100. And Meshy was up a couple $100. And I remember we were, as I said, absolutely munted. And I was like, dude, if you get up $300 on blackjack or whatever the hell we're playing, you got to come to Melbourne for the next game. All our mates are coming. And this was when Meshy lived in Adelaide. And he's like, oh, I don't know. I was like, no, come on. You literally won enough to get the flight. and he ended up losing the hand, so it didn't get him up to 300, but he booked the flights anyway. We made a whole song around the booking them flights, and it was just like this thing that happened. But yeah, I'm getting chills talking about it, man. We've had some awesome memories, and I think like that's sport overall, right? Your team's not always going to win, but fuck, we had a lot of fun last couple of months, and yeah, keen for next summer to have a lot more.
100%.
That wasn't as bad as I thought, actually, talking about the cricket. But let's move on from that. Enough cricket. Let's move on to basketball. You guys want to fill us in on what's been going on?
Sounds good. I think, look, it's a safe space, so getting all that cricket chat out, feels good. Everyone's get it out of
Why pay for therapy, eh?
But that's it, therapy. That's it.
Men don't go to therapy; they just start podcasts on the internet.
That's it. You know what men also do instead of talking about their feelings? A bit of Draymond Green. He decides to chokehold another man. Use his fists, no emotion, no sit down chat, just go straight in. Decides to choke him out. Gets ejected and then gets suspended for 5 games. I don't know about you, Onks, but I watched that fight, I reckon, 10, 15 times. I'm still baffled as to what the hell was going on.
Yeah, terrible. He didn't need to be involved in that at all. It was a slight scuffle. I think it was the first 2 minutes. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it was literally, I think, 2 minutes.
There wasn't even a point scored, right? There wasn't even a point on the board, right? And then Clay and Jaden McDaniels get into a little bit of a scuffle, bit of argy-bargy. You've had it in every single sport, It comes any sport. And then Draymond, just out of nowhere, decides to put Rudy Gobert in just a back choke. Man was looking like he was on UFC 277 on a Sunday night. Like, it was just wild, and yeah, definitely deserved, because even Steve Kerr, like, if your own coach comes out and says that enough is enough and he should have toned it down, then you've definitely done something wrong. But I actually found an interesting stat, which has kind of been going all over the internet this week, but it's to do with Steph and Draymond getting ejected. And the last 11 games that Steph has missed, Draymond has been ejected in 7 of them. So basically, it's his way of saying that if Steph's not there, I'm not playing, and that probably says a lot about Warriors culture and where that team is headed right now without Steph, this 34-year-old man putting up MVP numbers just to try and get wins at the moment.
100%. But I think the flip side of it is the whole league's probably kind of happy that Rudy Gobert got choked out. He's not the most loved character in that league.
Yeah.
Stemming back to his touching of all the mics when COVID first kicked off. I know that video's gone around a lot. So, hey, maybe Draymond's taken one for the whole league in itself.
You know what? That's pretty cool, like, punting insights, though. Like, if you know that, like, whenever Steph Curry's out, this other dude's out choking people. Like, when you say ejected, he's gone for the game, but he can be replaced, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You can sub someone in. It's not like a red card in soccer where you can't. You have to play with 4 for the rest of the game. It's more so like he just has to leave the floor in the court. Yeah. Man, there's betting markets for everything, right? So there's probably a betting market next time Steph's out, whether Draymond's getting ejected or not.
We'd have to price that up. I'll get the data guys on it.
Yeah.
The data guys, like our data guys are from India, though. So if it's not cricket or kabaddi, I don't think they're going to be any good.
What he's playing kabaddi on the court.
For anyone who's like from Australia and not Indian, just YouTube search like kabaddi, or like, you'll absolutely love it. It's fucking absolutely 100%. Hilarious.
Yeah, it's just
who was it? Campbell Brown. He played it, right? For Australia.
What?
The AFL guy? Campbell Brown.
Campbell Brown played kabaddi.
Yeah, he was in the Australian kabaddi team.
Australia has a kabaddi team?
Yeah. Right, I've got a 12-hour flight tomorrow. I'm looking at Draymond Green fight choking, and Campbell Brown kabaddi. I'll watch I'm watching 12 hours of that. That's awesome.
No, if you YouTube kabaddi, Draymond's clip pops up first anyway, so you've got to be covered there.
All right. While you guys continue to talk shit, I'm actually going to search this up. You guys go ahead.
But yeah, I think because, like, obviously Steph was out with a few injuries. Draymond's ejection now. The Warriors have lost, I think, 6 straight. They're shocking. They're terrible. They're just struggling. Yeah. There's no energy in the team. where there was a game winner hit by Wiggins only for Chet to go over his head, tie the game up, and the Warriors lose in overtime. So feels the team's just struggling. They need a bit of a kick up the backside, but Steph's back now, so I'm sure he'll make some changes in there and carry them as he does.
Yeah, it's come to a point where, like, if he's out, it's just all station zero. Like Clay's not hitting anything. There's no ball movement, and CP3 isn't someone who's going to carry an offense.
He can't.
His role right now is to come off the bench and help the bench unit score a few points. So
that's it.
But yeah, to be honest, there's a lot of other teams doing pretty well at the moment. So if you look around the league, other than the Warriors, you've got the Kings sitting 6th straight, sitting 4th. Speaking about the Thunder too, they're on a roll. That young team, 5 straight, sitting 2nd in the West. In the West, that's not the East, that's the West, and T-Wolves sitting 1st in the West too. So I don't know what's going on. It's upside down day at the moment. But if you gave me $20 at the start of the season and said these teams would sit first, I would happily take that $20.
It's $20 at Wicky. It's going to be 200. Fucking hell.
Oh, well, I went the early pro last pod, and the T-Wolves haven't let me down for the week. So yeah, we're looking good. And I think even going around the league, I think apart from the teams, some of the individual performances we're seeing all through the league, obviously from the young guys, but how old is LeBron? Honestly, that man needs to be in a retirement home.
He's at least 60 years old. He sleeps in like an oxygen chamber. Like, I've never seen anyone take as much care of his body as him. What is it? Year 21 in the league? 2021? Yeah. And he had 37 this game and then 35 last game.
Quick question. Sorry. I saw like a headline that I think it was his wife that was saying that his motivation is to play until his son can play with him. Is that a legit thing or is it just a bullshit headline?
Yeah. So his oldest son definitely is a chance, because I think Bronny gets drafted next year, and then Bryce, his other son, is I think a year after that, or maybe 2 more years. So damn. I don't know. He'd have to play till he's, I think, 42, 43. Yeah. But again, there's all these other things with it. Like if pretty much whoever drafts Bronny gets LeBron. So then you get, your marketing, all of that. You get fans coming to the games. So there's all that outside noise as well as LeBron being LeBron.
Dude, that could have been Sachin Tendulkar and Arjun Tendulkar, but his son's shit.
He's got a better son now. He's got Gil.
Oi, beef.
Yeah.
Also, sorry, I was shocked before because I actually looked it up. Shane Warne advises Australian Kabaddi team captain Campbell Brown. It was 7 years ago. What the hell? That's the most random thing I've ever seen in sport.
There was someone else in that team as well. We can't remember, with Campbell Brown, like another famous dude.
Yeah, cool. You guys keep going. I'll look that up. I'll be up in 5 minutes.
But yeah, so great individual performances. I think one person I'd really like to touch on is Jokic. I feel as though he's kind of giving me Russell Westbrook, OKC Prime vibes, where he's getting triple doubles and it's just becoming the new norm. You just you don't even give it a second look. But last game he had, what was it, 29, 16, and 18. Like these are absurd numbers in a very low-scoring game as well. I think Pelicans ended up winning by 5 points, 100 to 105. And the man had like 64 stats or whatever it was out of all of that. So he's been on fire. Again, probably favorite for the MVP. Denver will win games, finish top 4. So, unbelievable from him.
If you have him in your fantasy team, you're sorted. Like, you're done. He's got to be number 1 pick across the board. To be honest with you, in the MVP conversation, he probably could have won it any of the last 3 or 4 years. They just probably got sick of giving it to him because he got the 2 back-to-back, and then they're like, all right, we should probably give it to someone else, because at this point, it's you're good when you're dropping triple doubles in 50% of your game. So like in the last 6 years, 3 triple doubles. And you're good when that's happening and no one's talking about it. Like no one bats an eye. There's no articles about it. All the articles are about Draymond choking people out. Whereas
clickbait, it works.
Yeah, as clickbait. But the thing is, if you put Jokic triple double, no one's going to click on it because it's been happening consistently for 4 years. So
that's it.
And then you said that Murray's out, right, for an extended period. How long is he going to be out for?
I'm actually not sure how long he's out for, but with Murray out, the usage for Jokic just goes straight up.
Yeah,
I think he's just the past week. Every time Denver's been on a DFS slate for draft stars, you always see Jokic ownership right up there, even though he's a quarter of the salary now. Because that's just how big his scoring numbers have been. So yeah. Even Murray will come back slowly as well. They're not going to rush him. They're cruising.
No. Yeah, they're cruising. They definitely, I reckon, they're lock for the playoffs, to be honest. And with your second primary ball handler out, Jokic is just going to keep dropping just godly numbers and feeding everyone in that team. So keep an eye on them. Maybe not the most spicy basketball to watch or the most exciting or headline grabbing, but he's going to be doing that day in, day out. So it deserves a mention.
Nice. Hey, Meshy, really quickly, you mentioned fantasy. Don't you have a draft or a fantasy comp between the boys?
Yeah, we do have a draft between the boys.
Who's doing well there?
So it's a bit of a mix, actually. I think Shivzo, one of our mates, he's undefeated in there. I don't know if he might have lost this week, actually, but I'm not.
He ends up being good at all our bloody fantasy comps, draft, everything, NRL, change up sport.
It's because he doesn't come out. No one knows what he does. He's a myth. And you know what? He's probably just going over the numbers every night. But it's an interesting group. So we've actually got two mates that I work with, two mates from Adelaide, and then two mates from our group that we've grown up with. So a bit of a mix.
Nice.
In the draft, 8 of us in there. And yeah, it's good fun. Got a little WhatsApp chat going, put all that basketball news and stuff in there. And good bets. I mean, we watch the games every day anyway. So
what's first prize?
First prize is $300.
Woo!
And then second is $100. So double your money.
Nice.
It's small stakes.
Love it. I remember we tried doing the NRL draft, and then how many did we get to? I think we had 10 I think we've actually been doing NRL draft for like 10 years, but it just sucks when people start. It's long. Oh, actually, NBA is the same. Do you guys find that when you do your drafts, it's really fun at the start, and then people give up towards the end, or is it all right usually?
I think so, and I think we've gone back to that NRL draft. Super boring. No one made any trades.
Onks, you love this. Meshy had to get kicked out of there because him and his mates from Adelaide cheated towards the end of the draft when their season was over. And then, Meshy's cousin PK.
We didn't cheat. It was a fair trade in my eyes.
Yeah, it was a fair trade. It's almost like they were trading like Zimbabwean players for like Virat Kohli and shit. Like, oh yeah, it's a fair trade. Based like 2 game sample size averages and shit. And they both fucking came last anyway. It was great. Our version is rejected.
This is why I'm not in any fantasy leagues with Meshy or Shivy for that matter. Because I think Shivy's full-time job is have 4 screens and analytics on sports all day long. So it's just a loss, in my opinion.
Love that.
I love it. All right. Was there anything else left in the week of NBA, or we?
There was the Clippers. The Clippers finally. It's funny to say because there's 4 bona fide all-stars on that team. But they finally won their first game with the beard. Old Jimmy. What were they? It was 0-6 before that.
Yeah, they had 6 losses to some fairly average teams as well. Nothing special. And then they finally put it together. It was a very close game all the way through, and then it took a James Harden and one on the 3-point shot to take them home. But hey, and then the other thing that's come out of that is Russell Westbrook going to the coach and saying, hey, put me off the bench. Like we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, maybe the egos are turning and they're changing, and they might want to work together to win a championship.
I would say Russ is matured a lot, hasn't he, as a basketball player? Like if you think about 5 or 6 years ago, Russ coming off the bench, like no chance is there. But I think it's all about the buy-in now, and Russ has bought in, and I think their spacing is a lot better. I know PG shot very, very poorly, but Kawhi and Harden, I was looking at the box score, they shot like 50% from three and from the field. So, and I think Russ helps the bench unit too when he comes 100%. Back in. So hopefully, it's all about team chemistry. It just proves like you can put 4 superstars on a court, but it's if you don't have the right spacing or the right floor plan, it's not going to happen for you. So hopefully they can kick on. Although it did take like a Harden and 1 3-pointer for them to win the game.
Exactly.
So it wasn't convincing at all. And Kawhi's completely left him on an island with 2 seconds to go. So we'll see. It was if you watch the game, it wasn't a convincing victory, as Meshy said, but we'll see how they kick on now from here.
That's it. I think looking the 2 teams we've spoken about earlier. So speaking about buy-in, I think OKC, the way they've all bought in at young ages that they are at, the way they're playing basketball, they all know their roles. They all know who's getting the ball at the end. Like that is the comparison we should all be making for the Clippers. Like they're superstars. They need to be able to buy in, kind of compare themselves to Oklahoma. And then speaking of team chemistry, Denver, you look at Denver, like they've got 2 stars, right? They got Jokic and Murray, but the other 3 guys just do their role. That's all they do. They know where to be, where to run to, where Jokic is going to pass them the ball. And the Clippers have the players to do that. They have the skill set to do that. But they just have to buy in, which I don't think they will anyway. It's probably going to fall apart by mid-season and they'll all get traded.
I'll actually go the other way. I'll go the other way on this. I think that they'll figure it out. I think if Russ is man enough to drop to the bench, but that's probably the bias in me speaking. But yeah, we'll see. Only time will tell how that's gonna. It could crash and burn, or it could be a championship. Like it has to be either or, right? Like
that's it.
To be honest,
I feel as though they either just completely miss the playoffs, or they get like top 4 and maybe make a
big deep run. Yeah. We'll see.
I love that. Well, just before we started recording, I was just I was asking Meshy because he's heading overseas soon. I'm heading overseas tomorrow, and I was going to say next week I'll be overseas. We'll still do the pod. Meshy will still be in Sydney. What we might do is I might get some tips off you guys for a couple of futures plays, because as I said, I keep saying I'm going to start getting into the NBA, but I'll be with my team in a couple of days, and we're going to finally get NBA League Pass and stuff. So I'll finally actually start watching games. So I'll get a couple of futures tips of who might win. Who might end up winning. I want long odds though. I don't want the favorites. I want some value plays. I want some like boom or bust kind of shit.
100%.
And it won't be $20 on. It'll be a little bit more Onks.
Last week I mentioned the T-Wolves. I think you can still get 50s for them. Like I said, they're sitting top of the West. 8-2, 9-2 or something. And to be honest, like even their basketball play has looked convincing. It hasn't looked fluky, or they've just managed to scrape wins. They've actually looked pretty good. So them definitely a 50s top 4 home court advantage and getting some good matchups. Yeah,
is that 50 to go all the way? Is that 50
to win the whole thing, whole champion? Okay. Go to the champion again. Though I think it's a smart play if you're one of those who put some money on early. They make the playoffs. The odds will half. Especially if they finish top 4. So the sneaky cash out button that most bookies have could be a good investment for the T-Wolves, I reckon.
I reckon I'm going to go like the Timberwolves into like the Scorchers to win the BBL or something, and then boost that shit, and then put like $20 on that. That's what you got to do, Onks.
Mate,
introduction to sports betting.
That will get you a house in Vaucluse. That's going to hit 20 million, I reckon.
Yeah.
Also, a bit of pub. Also, I know Hugo, our mate Hugo, probably doesn't listen to this. A little bit of pub. That guy's a genius, right? He knows everything about sport. We're going to ask him this, and if you're listening to this and you're not Indian, just YouTube what Kabaddi. Even if you are Indian, you probably haven't seen much of it. Google, YouTube search Kabaddi, right? So the 3 AFL players that played in that 2016 Kabaddi World Cup for Australia: Campbell Brown, Stephen Milne, and Adam Schneider. If Hugo knows that, that's just fucked. Like, absolutely.
I'm sure he knows that. I would $1.01 that he knows it.
Yeah, we'll ask him after we get off the pod, actually. Onks is thinking, wait a minute, I watched every minute of that Kabaddi World Cup. I don't remember this.
I think I still don't know if you guys are taking the piss. Like if you guys got together 10
I've
minutes
got the
before
article
this,
in front of me.
and so there was actually a Kabaddi World Cup, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a Fox Sports article from 2016. Yeah,
It was
And
okay.
Australia was in it.
Oh, dude, sorry. 2016. I got married in 2016, and Meshy's cousin PK, one of our other mates, Ishan, we were in India. Like there was literally like I think 7 or 8 of us, right?
Yeah.
And there was one room with like I was like necking a bottle of bourbon the night before my wedding or whatever. And it was PK and Ishan, like the most well-behaved Indian boys, in a room on their screens, like on their phones, watching Kabaddi. So that could have actually been it. They might have been watching the fucking Kabaddi World Cup. I know this is super random, but we were laughing at them because, like, it wasn't that they were laughing at Kabaddi. They were trying to learn the rules of the game and like punt on it. But
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll ask Hugo. We'll let you guys know.
I actually played a bit of Kabaddi when I was in India, so I know the rules, but I didn't say I was good at it. I just know the rules. But what happened after 2016 did they never hold another World Cup? Like what's going on?
Well, you know what? People are going to have to listen to our next episode to find out.
next episode is just Kabaddi. Get ready.
No, it'll be sick. I'll try, maybe next week when I'm with the guys, my team in person, when we do the editing, I'll try to get some fucking Kabaddi, like a 60-second video of some Kabaddi. And Onks, if you know the rules, you can commentate on it. It'll be sick.
Live demo.
That's quality content. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll draw the lines out in my room and I'll just give you a live demo. I get my dad to. He used to play Kabaddi.
Oh, he didn't sign up for that, man. I feel like that's good.
Awesome.
Sick. All right. Well, okay. Well, we'll do this all over again next week. We'll ask Hugo. We'll let you guys know actually next week if Hugo knew this. He's like an encyclopedia of sporting knowledge, the bastard. But otherwise, aside from that, I guess to get our minds off the Cricket World Cup. Tell me if I'm missing anything. But we've got NBA, NFL, EPL, women's cricket. We've got the Big Bash coming up. Have I missed anything? Is there any other stuff coming up in the next?
When does the men's Big Bash start? Kick off?
December 7th. So in just over 2 weeks from now.
Couple weeks.
Should be good. Shorter comp this year as well. Should be good fun.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Just trying to think if there's anything else on at the moment.
The Aussie Open starts after the new year, right?
Aussie Open would start
like in January.
Yeah, Jan, early mid Jan. Yeah,
I like the Aussie Open. It doesn't go on for too long. It's like 2-3 weeks and it's done, right?
Yeah,
it is pretty quick, and obviously because it's in Australia, unlike a lot of other sports that we follow, the timings are quite friendly for us. Actually, one of my favorite trips was the Aussie Open. Like, when that comes around, I'll be in full swing. I might, if I have some leave or something, I might even try and head down for a game or two. But yeah,
it's all right. The tickets and stuff, or is it all right?
So how it works is in up until the 4th round, they're quite decent, and then after that you can either get a day pass for the whole day, which allows you entry into every stadium in the arena except for Margaret Court and Rod Laver, so the two big ones, right?
Yeah,
the two big ones. Or if you want to book like a quarter or a semi, you book in advance, but I think they start from 200. I think I watched the quarter. The day pass was really worth it because I got to see Kyrgios in the round of 16, I think, just randomly against Kachanokov. But then we had a quarter booked, and you don't know who's going to be in it. So you book blind, like you book the quarter. And unfortunately, I got to watch Djokovic beat Raonic in 3 sets, so I blew $200 on that. So hopefully,
is Kyrgios playing this Aussie Open, or is he injured long term still?
I'm not sure. I haven't really kept.
I read that he was injured. He was
injured. Yeah, there was a bit of banter between him and someone online. There was. I just saw it a couple of days ago.
It was like a really famous,
really weird crossover, wasn't it? Like
Drake. It was Drake. I read this.
That's it.
I contributed something to the poll.
Yeah. That's it. Because in my mind, I was like, "This is the weirdest crossover yet." Like Drake and Kyrgios. Like, what's going on? But yeah, I think he mentioned that he's still injured. But apparently, Drake is a fan of his. So all you have to do is be a controversial Australian tennis superstar, and you have Drake on your side.
Hey, I might have a chance when I hit Toronto. That's the next crossover. Drake and Meshy, I reckon. Watch out for that single. That single going to drop next year. Once Onks gets the blue tick, though, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, fast track that blue tick with OVO Records. Yeah, make it happen.
Noted.
I love that. Man, we got, what is it? Like, we got Kabaddi, we got Kabaddi, freaking Drake and Nick Kyrgios, and a whole bunch of other shit in between. I love it. It was good fun. I thought we wouldn't have as much stuff to talk about, but we ended up going more than half an hour just from talking shit. I love it.
There's always, first of all, there's always shit to talk about on the Dribblers podcast, and there's always sport. Like, look, man, South Korean women's basketball is on all the time too, so we run out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I think one of our mates, Parag, was talking about a 13-leg table tennis multi that he's really confident about. Yeah, maybe not quite the Wicky value way with his punting, but anyways. Nah, sick. All right, guys. Well, anyways, we've got a bunch of data tools, content, bunch of stuff coming out for BBL Supercoach as well. If you're into that, Google Wiki Linktree. Obviously, you can find the podcast here, both video. If you don't want to look at us, you can listen to it. Check it out, and we'll catch you next Monday.